why am I not manifesting what I want when I am, I'm in that good vibration, I'm high. And it wasn't until I discovered astrology that things made sense for me, because some people are energetically aligned to be able to manifest very easily. And some people are more energetically aligned to be more fate oriented in this lifetime, because that's what their soul has chosen to experience in this lifetime. And that freed my soul so much from the judgment of, why can't I manifest what I want? It became more, this is the journey my soul needs. And that's fine. That's quite okay. There's no judgment of my inability to manifest, because when I grew up in religion, nothing was more damning than, oh, that person's blessed and I'm not, what am I doing wrong? And it was utterly debilitating as a soul, and it made you feel like, you were worthless. And I think that's the last thing source, universe, God, whatever wants us to feel, is that we are worthless. No, we are on our unique journey. For some people, it will be manifestation that comes easily, and for others not. It's all about working with energy, which is what we are, the masters of energy. Sorry,
darling, this is a conversation we could do a few shows on. I don't think that you and I have diametrically opposed opinions. When you were talking about the remedy, the guides were saying, whatever it takes to align your energy, if you believe that this remedy is going to work, it's going to work, because you're the creator of your reality. I remember in Yukteswar's in Autobiography of a Yogi, Yukteswar was giving pearls to people, saying these pearls were blessed and yada, yada. And then we look at the energy of pearl and what does pearl mean? Why is pearl sacred and yada? And he had said the same thing. It's like, it doesn't really matter what I give you. If I tell you that I've blessed this thing and I give it to you and you believe it, then you're going to have according to what you believe. And it's really about what you believe. But I think that when we talk about law of attraction and, getting what you want, not getting what you want, we really have to look at who is asking and what desire is more dominant in your life. Because, for instance, the ego might say, bring me the money. What's that show? Where is the money?
Show me the money. Yeah.
And your soul might be saying, in this life, you've got to learn about abundance in a different way, and the generosity of strangers, rather than you being a successful entrepreneur and businessman, learning to receive and receiving that generosity of strangers and letting life feed you abundantly without you working hard and struggling to, what desire are you looking into? Are you looking into the soul desire or the ego desire? Which is dominant in your life? The guides have always said to me, if you align your energy, you can create anything you want, even if it's not what the soul wants to create, because that's the way it works. But most of the time when your soul is calling to you, it's a much louder call than the call of the ego that's saying, show me the money, like that, all that stuff that we think. And then why at that idea, why haven't I got what I want? Esther and Jerry Hicks would say, that's why.
That's why. Yeah. It's so simple.
Because when you say,
sucks
why
so
haven't
much,
I got what I want?
It's so hard. This is something, Kesenya, you were talking, right time, girl. So I started working with a guy named Dewey Taylor. Could not recommend this dude enough. Okay. I put an episode out with him recently, but him and I worked together for about a month. Now, the worst month of my life was the next 3 weeks after we started working together, but for great reason. So that week was just unbelievable. Like, holy shit. Like, I figured out, like, I got it. It's like somebody woke me up and just said, hey, that way. And I was like, oh my God, yeah, it's right there. And it was so easy and simple. After that week, unbelievable, like, set everything in motion. I mean, everything. It's really just set me off. This was my arrow launching. You know what I mean? When you feel like you're being pulled back and stagnancy and all that. And I'd been battling that for too long. So that week, amazing. Next 3 weeks, worst weeks of my life. I mean, it got really dark. It got really fucking dark, and I will never feel like that again. But it took me feeling that and really because I was working with someone that every time I would come to him on a Friday and I'd be like, dude, I'm losing my fucking mind. I'm like, I can't, what is going on here? He just had this shit-eating grin on his face, and he's like, perfect. He's like, awesome. He goes, his name's Dewey Taylor. He's now a buddy. I mean, he's now a brother. I still go to their meetings every Tuesday. It's amazing. So he said, great, because what this is an indicator. This is an indicator that everything's falling into place. Now, I've used this example before, but I haven't experienced it in that way. So one of the examples I use as a musician or whatever, there's a technique in music called dissonance. And what dissonance is you know those nasty chords people hit and they're like, wah, and they're like just gross and you're like, oh, get it out of here. The reason why that exists is because it's extremely powerful when paired with the resolve or the next, like it's the fire to the water. So whenever you get this nasty, D minor seventh or something just gross and it's dingy and people, I know my buddies and I, we used to try and come up with the nastiest chords we could that just sounded horrible and you hated because no matter what we played after it, you were going to absolutely love it. It's this, oh, thank God. There was a piano guy that I played with, and he said that one of the things he would do to fuck with his fellow pianists is to walk into a room before the teacher got there, run 7 notes on a scale, da-na-na-na-na-na-na, and then walk away. And everybody lost their damn minds. And someone would run up and hit the final note, and everybody go, oh, thank God. This is what that time period is. It's that stagnation. It's that lingering. Absolutely. It's that anticipation. And also with that, stagnation's the worst because that comes with so much frustration, self-doubt, loathing, just fear, that's the worst that you can be, right? Like your cat. I get it. I get why your cat won't drink still water. It needs to be moving. It needs to not be stagnant, right? That's where things fester. That's when it goes to shit. Same with you and your constitution. So if you look at it this way, whenever those 3 weeks happened and everything went to absolute shit, Dewey just smiling his ass off with each cry for help that I gave him. He was just like, perfect, dude, you're right there. And I trusted him. I still do. And so that's what brought me, KAren, to the great epiphanies you feel that I've had about podcasting in general. Really what it was a systemic overhaul. This is where I installed my Thought Ninja. I really went within. And
Thought Ninja.
Yeah. And I really went within and I said, okay, I'm never going to feel like this anymore. The reason that I felt like that is because this thought led me to that thought, led me to that thought. So what I'm doing is I'm installing a Thought Ninja. I just made it up. I was like, all right, Thought Ninja, hang out, and you're right here. And any thought that comes in, you let me know. And it's like a bouncer at a club, right? It's like, no, Thought, you're not wearing the right shoes. You're not in a vibrational match for his highest good. Get fucked. And then they send him kicking rocks, right? And then it would let in, though, pre-approved thoughts, which are in my highest vibrational alignment. And I just kind of gave him this task. I just said, there you go. And then I stepped back in observer mode. And what that did was it took over the front, and he had he still does, badass katana. Anything that came in, I was like, don't let him in. Then he would just whack, and it's gone now. It's removed from my subconscious. Like I found that I was rewriting neurons. I really was mindful of my thoughts. And what this did was it shut out the outside world. It made me pay attention to the things I was receiving. Again, validating that we're receivers for our thoughts. Even Tesla said this. Many people have said this. And so if you think of it that way, you're like, okay, well, all of this all the thoughts is some version of something that was conditioned to think that way. And so if I really say, okay, no, this doesn't serve me anymore, I don't want to think that way. And definitely, and it again, all started from a spiral. It's like the shittiest if you give a mouse a cookie ever. So do you know what If You Give a Mouse a Cookie is? That kid's book? If you give a mouse a cookie, he's going to want a glass of milk. If he wants a glass of milk, he's going to want to brush his teeth. If he brushes his teeth, so it leads one thing to another. So true. There was a follow-up book to that, If You Give a Moose a Muffin. Not as cool, but better title.